Speaker, although I've spoken over 100 debates since I've come to this House, none have been as important as this debate, which will guide the future of this country for generations to come. Many honourable members have covered the security implications. It's worth reflecting on the fact the agreement makes no mention of Europol, says the UK be locked out of EU tools, including the Schengen Information System, European Arrest Warrant and European Criminal Records Information System when the transition period ends. The Police Federation, which represents 120,000 rank-and-file officers, they had no idea what the policing landscape will look like post-29th of March 2019. This, in and of itself, is enough to reject the agreement, as presented to us. The Prime Minister's deal merely pushes back decisions into transition, doesn't even answer what sort of Brexit we will get, which the security arrangements are merely the tip of a Titanic iceberg. After the Prime Minister gave a statement to the House, she said the post-transition options for the future relationship with the EU were a spectrum. I asked the Prime Minister what her spectrum was, and her response was, there is a balance between checks and controls and the acceptance of rules and regulations. Are any of us clear on the Prime Minister's spectrum? No, I can see that we're not. I believe we have 5 basic options going forward. We have no-deal Brexit, we have the Prime Minister's withdrawal agreement, we have a renegotiation of the withdrawal deal, and we have membership of the European Free Trade Association with a customs union, so-called Norway Plus, and we have remaining in the EU. Everyone understands no deal, and that we leave over 70 international trade deals in the all-Ireland electricity market ceases, with the potential to completely disrupt Northern Ireland's power supply. The chaos around customs checks puts all goods coming to the country at risk: food, medicine, fuel, machine parts. The government's technical notices make some grim reading. But after passing the Right Honourable and learned member for Beaconsfield, my former MP in fact, amendment last night, we are on the road to assert the will of the House and avoid a no-deal Brexit. The Prime Minister's deal means no immediate cliff edge, but instead leaving the EU into a transition of at least 21 months when we stay within and would need to operate all EU rights and regulations. But what then? Well, the Prime Minister's non-answer tells you all you need to know. The government would negotiate a free trade deal that is a balance between checks and controls and the acceptance of rules and regulations. Considering this is all they've managed in the last 20 months, I cannot write them a blank cheque, and it might not even be a cheque made out to the current Prime Minister. So I cannot and will not support the EU withdrawal agreement when it comes before Parliament next Tuesday. I have consistently said I cannot support any option which doesn't protect jobs by preserving tariff-free, barrier-free, frictionless trade with the rest of Europe. That will retain current employer, consumer rights, environmental standards, and at least keep pace with them in the future, as well as no hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland, Gibraltar and Spain, and our sovereign territory on Cyprus and the Republic of Cyprus. Let's remember the single market accounts for 25% of global GDP and represents the biggest trading partner. I believe only the latter 3 options I've outlined can achieve this. Yesterday we saw the government lose 3 votes, including, historically, a contempt motion. The confidence is visibly draining from the government, whose majority has always been built on a billion promises. The Prime Minister cannot take this take it or leave it deal, then this House will call time on her. And there's an opportunity for another government to negotiate a deal built on adopting higher regulatory, higher environmental and higher labour standards. If we have higher standards of electoral alignment, our deal will look totally different than the second-rate agreement we've been asked to vote upon. For us to enjoy the same access rights and benefits of the European single market without having to negotiate a whole new treaty, we could apply for membership of the European Free Trade Association and be part of the European Economic Area. This could be completed in a fairly short space of time. However, there is no customs union for EFTA members, and if we want a seamless trade and no tariffs for goods originating outside the UK but being sold into the EU, we need a customs union. Given that it is not possible to be both in EFTA and a customs union, we would secure a derogation from the EFTA Convention in order to facilitate a new EU-UK customs union. This honours the question of the referendum, which simply said, and let's remember what it said, should the United Kingdom remain a member of the European Union or leave the European Union? Well, we won't be a member of the European Union if we're a member of EFTA. Finally, we could simply remain in the EU. Considering all that we have learnt since June 24, 2016, we learnt that negotiating a deal that is better than the one we have now is effectively impossible. That the queue of countries in Whitehall to ask for a trade deal has been oddly missing. That Vote Leave broke electoral law, overspending by hundreds of thousands of pounds, and Cambridge Analytica employees admitted they used illegal data harvesting techniques. Considering all that, shouldn't people be given the chance to think again? If there was another vote on whether to stay or leave, I would vote to remain, just as I did in 2016, as there is no better deal for the United Kingdom. So I will vote to reject this agreement And if the opportunity to vote to renegotiate, join EFTA, or for another vote on EU membership in the parliamentary procedures we are going to undertake after we inevitably vote down the Prime Minister's withdrawal agreement, I will vote for any and all of these. I will not vote for the Prime Minister's blank cheque withdrawal agreement, and I'll oppose a no-deal Brexit with every fibre of my being.